Well, it is a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Cottage Grove, Oregon for the Freedom Cup night number 2. I got my younger sister Carly here to my left, and we are going to be following her along for our second night of the weekend of 3. Freedom Cup 3-night event, big show for the limited sprints and the modifieds here in Central Oregon. Carly, you learned a lot last night, got her first heat race win, got some solid laps in the A. How are you going to take that into tonight?
I think, yeah, last night was definitely just kind of the feel of the car again. I haven't ran in a while, so that was more trying to get the feel of the car, trying to learn, you know, the track again. But I mean, they're watering it pretty good, so I think there might be a lot of grip tonight, which that's my kind of track.
And Carly really likes to work the bottom, which you did a ton in the A main event. So the biggest thing is just getting her to kind of move around, get a little more comfortable on the top side. How tough is it to really run the top here at Cottage Grove when it's so easy to slide off?
It's tough, but it does actually kind of hold you if you hit the right line.
So Carly's going to be getting after it tonight. Night number 2 of the Freedom Cup. We're going to qualify, go right into a heat race with the 6-car invert, and then a 25-lap feature. Could have ran 2 better laps. Well, Carly just finished up her limited sprint qualifying for night number 2 of the Freedom Cup. Since she was in the last group yesterday, she was in the first group today, and I think the racetrack's only going to slicken off, so that is to our advantage. But Carly looked really, really good. She hit her mark. She was just right through the middle on the gas. I didn't have the greatest vantage point where I was sitting because I was waiting for her to come off to go to the scales, but honestly, I don't really think there was anything she could have done much better. She hit her marks, her car looked straight, and she was on the gas, and that's all we can ask for. So after those first 3 cars, she was the fastest, but now cars are continuing to go out, and I think the racetrack will slow down a little bit, so we'll give you guys an update and see where she ended up. Well, a great qualifying run for Carly. Carly, tell them where you ended up.
3rd out of 24 cars, I think.
3rd out of 24 cars, and going out early, that helped, but you really looked good out there. Can you just talk about those 2 laps you had up at full speed?
They felt great, honestly. I think the adjustment we made to the car right before helped a bunch, and I think me driving the car and more straight in the corner also helped too.
So now that Carly qualified 3rd and we have some more cars tonight, I think we have 24 compared to last night's 18. She's going to be starting 6th in the 3rd sprint car heat race, and this format, as far as winning the overall Freedom Cup, it's all about accumulating points throughout the weekend. So since she qualified 3rd and starts 6th in the heat race, if she can pass as many cars as possible, that will set her up to then be in the invert for the A main event, where the high point guy is going to start 12th. So she has a little bit of time. We're going to see how the track changes, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be super, super slick for the heats. I told her just to follow a car in front of her, get after it, and see how far she can get to the front. the surface tonight at the Cottage Grove Speedway is absolutely phenomenal. It's nights like this where I actually get jealous that I can't go out there and turn a couple of laps. Carly started 6th there in her heat race. You saw her mishap going into turn 1. The cars in front of her just kind of bobbled, and that made her bobble because she drove in hard and she kind of spun out. Regrouped though and started 6th and was able to drive up to 3rd. And honestly, she made some good laps. She's still working on just being a little bit more consistent. And my main advice to her when she got off the racetrack was, Carly, when you're gonna run the bottom, you gotta wait on it a little bit more till you're straight to get on the gas, because off of 4 she was gassing it up and it was actually pushing her into the slick. And if you're gonna run the high side, you gotta hustle and drive it harder and as hard as you can to be comfortable, because she's still working on getting that comfortable feeling, right rear, right on the edge. But overall, we're proud of her because that 6th to 3rd run is gonna put her high point guy for night number 2 of the Freedom Cup. So she's gonna be rolling off from 12th. Brian Crockett, who you saw with the water truck, just went out there and watered it a little bit. I think they're gonna run one modified A-main event, and then they're gonna do a full rework right before the sprint cars go out. So hopefully it's not like last night where it wasn't super racy. Carly starting 12th is gonna need a good surface to be able to go to the front. Well, they are doing a pretty large rework here before the sprint car feature, the same as last night. I think the one mistake though, they recognize that now that the sun is down, they just got to be careful at where they add this grip in the form of water and tilling the racetrack. Watering the top side. The bottom already has a good amount of grip, and before they did this rework, the surface was phenomenal. It just probably would have taken rubber if they didn't at least touch it a little bit. So they're tilling the top side, they're gonna water it. I think they might touch the bottom a little, but there's already some grip down there, and they wanna eliminate the factor of just one lane around the bottom. So they're gonna try to just get a little grip in certain spots, make it right around the top to where you have to hustle, or the bottom where you have to really slow down. Should be a pretty good surface. Carly is gonna be rolling off from 12th, and here is a look at exit of 2 in the center of turns 1 and 2. Well, it is showtime at Cottage Grove, night number 2 of the Freedom Cup. Dad is just getting Carly all strapped in, tightening her lap belt. Carly, what's the strategy rolling off from 12?
Honestly, I'm not really quite sure yet. We got a few good guys ahead of us, and so I think I'm just kind of gonna follow them.
Survive.
Yeah.
Try to pick off 1 or 2 cars at a time.
Slowly but steady, try to get as far to the front as possible. We're gonna push Carly out here around the quarter-mile dirt track at Cottage Grove. I think she's gonna be good. The track surface already seems much better. They worked it, but they also left certain spots, so I think it's still gonna burn off. I think Carly's gonna be really, really fast. She just gotta hustle, the word I've been using, hustle up top, and if she's gonna run the bottom, she's gotta just be slow and smooth, because sometimes in sprint car racing, especially our Northwest tracks, slower is sometimes faster than faster if you do it correctly. So we're gonna push Carly out here on the track. Well, night number 2 of the Freedom Cup is now complete, and they are getting ready to really work on this racetrack to make sure we have a good Cottage Grove surface for night number 3, the finale, where I guess you could say the money's being handed out. Carly started 12th there in the feature and ended up running 9th +3. She went forward and she absolutely ran the top like a champ. I think that's where I was most proud, how she really just ran the top. She went down low a little bit to pass some cars, but for the most part really just got some practice on running right on the ragged edge at the Cottage Grove Speedway. Carly, how did it feel?
The car felt good, honestly. I felt the best I've ever felt in the sprint car, and the track was pretty on point tonight. It was more tacky on top, kind of my style. You know, learned a lot up there and also got some good sliders in. It
was great to see Carly kind of race like she was in an outlaw kart almost. That's how I would describe those slide jobs. Same with me, I've been really working on getting more aggressive. This is 3 and 4 though. They just got the grader out, they're tilling it up. We're gonna go check out 1 and 2. Now this is not exactly what the ledge looked like in 1 and 2, but it was built up more than normal at Cottage Grove. Carly, can you talk about running right up against that and what it did to your race car?
Sometimes I would hit it and it would turn the car back straight, so probably I should have entered higher up, and I was kind of throwing myself into it. But besides that, I think we definitely learned a lot, especially in this corner, just how to kind of run it and then how to throw a slider also, because I did get 1 or 2 sliders in this corner. So I think all we need to really work on tomorrow is just 3 and 4.
I can agree with that. Carly really put down some phenomenal laps, and that's such good experience, like she just talked about, you know, how to enter on it, how to slide into it, what the fastest route would be. And you said, I mean, sometimes you can hit it and it tosses your front end, and that's where you just get tight, and Cottage Grove doesn't usually build up a ledge like that. So watching, in my point of view, it was really interesting to see how everyone approached it, even though I was mainly watching Carly, but most cars, like probably the top 3, 3rd through 9th, and even 10th right behind Carly, they were all right there with each other on the same straightaway or on the same half lap. We'll see what they do for track prep tonight, but overall, Carly went forward. She looked way comfortable in the race car, and the results are only gonna come, and I'm really excited to see, you know, in the races coming up for Carly as she starts farther and farther up front, because that's when she's gonna be a real contender. As usual, the trailer's a mess, and we are 2 of 3 nights down for the weekend at the Cottage Grove Speedway for the 2021 Freedom Cup 4th of July Weekend Classic. And Carly's season is a lot like my season, and just the stages of dirt track racing that we're in. We're both kind of new into something, and like I've been telling her, you just gotta take small victories in the sport. Sprint car racing is so tough, so like tonight, for example, the fact that she was the high point guy going into the A main event, that's a huge win. She was able to pass some cars in the heat race, same with her heat race win last night, and she struggled in the AM. Like, you just gotta take those small victories during the night. So our whole crew is giving it 110%, and tonight's surface at the Cottage Grove Speedway was much better, super racy. I believe the guy that won was running the bottom, but everyone else behind him was really trying to work the high side. You could really go wherever you needed to, and lap traffic also played a big part of it, which is usually classic for Cottage Grove. You can catch lap traffic here within 4 or 5 laps, so that added to the excitement level. Carly got some great experience running the top side. I believe she got more comfortable overall just behind the wheel of a sprint car, and she's having fun doing it. We also got to see a lot of our local fans, and also a smooth night at the track, so many positives so far. 2 nights down, 1 more to go, the Freedom Cup finale. I believe Carly, though, is 3rd in overall points after her run tonight. She really just did a great job combination between qualifying, passing cars in the heat race, and then going forward in the feature. I know she really wanted to run probably up in the top 5 or contend for a win, but that's gonna come with just more consistent laps and, you know, just putting in your time in sprint car racing. So I'll see you guys all in the next one. Everything's all loaded up. Thank you guys so much for following along with our journey throughout the 2021 season and beyond. See you guys all in the next video. Deuces.